Hello, my name is Twyla Lapointe, and I would like to invite you to live vicariously through the spiritual journey I am taking this year. As an artist and a Catholic, I'll be going on a 2,500-kilometer spiritual and personal journey in February and March 2017. It'll be a pilgrimage through Prairie Canada, captured visually through videography and photography, and shared with anyone who is interested via YouTube. My husband is staying home, so he can keep taking home the bacon, but I'm taking our dog Murphy along. He loves road trips, and so do I. I'm taking a round trip. Well, more of a pie-shaped trip if we're being realistic. I'll be visiting multiple people, family, and friends in 7 locales over 3 Canadian provinces and several other places, with stops for Mass at a beautiful cathedral, 2 shrines, a Marian retreat center, and an Ash Wednesday service, if all goes well. And also a few dog parks, because while my husband remains at home, my dog Murphy is coming because he has nothing better to do and enjoys road trips and meeting dog friends along the way. I have a fine arts bachelor's degree from the U of S Art College in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, which was my hometown until late 2010 when I moved to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is where the trip will be starting out. I'm a foodie. I love cooking, performance art, entertainment like television and movies, and I love the internet and the way it connects people. I'm also a huge dog lover, as you might have guessed. I'm a Catholic convert from a charismatic evangelical Christian background. I'm on a really big, major personal faith journey, and I am so excited to have an opportunity to take this one and share it with others. I love sharing deeply, being honest with myself, even my flaws, and I enjoy road trips even when I'm alone. My husband Paul is a cradle Catholic who's extremely excited about me going off on an adventure that he gets to share vicariously too. We both love adventures and dogs. Murphy the Whippet is our beautiful, naughty, sprinting, dog-loving, people-loving dog, and on road trips he just curls up in the back seat and waits patiently for the destination, most of the time anyway. At 4 years old, he just hasn't had enough adventures in this life, so I'm bringing him along so he can spread his awesome personality and meet some of the friends and extended family who haven't met him yet. So, why am I calling this a pilgrimage, and why should someone help me go on it? Well, a few historical thoughts on pilgrimages might be useful in answering this question. If you're unfamiliar, a pilgrimage is a journey that a person, called a pilgrim, makes to a sacred place for the purpose of venerating that place or a person that it's dedicated to, or to ask for heavenly aid, and ultimately the purpose is to come to know God better. In this case, I'm visiting multiple sites, and I have 2 major personal requests that I'll share with anyone following along that I'll be praying about while I go. Before departing, a pilgrim normally received a blessing from the local bishop and made a full confession if the pilgrimage was to serve as a penance. If you don't know any of these words, I'll definitely be explaining them as I go along. I was already planning to go to reconciliation, or confession, by appointment in advance, but I'll be speaking to a priest about my journey and asking his advice if I should ask for a blessing from Edmonton's bishop before the trip. But I will at least ask for a blessing from the priest, and I'll likely carry a sacred object with me. I'll also be happy to carry objects for donors and friends of the pilgrimage if anyone requests. The wealthy sometimes paid someone else to go on a pilgrimage for them. Pilgrimages were dangerous and time-consuming, and they wanted to hear the stories of those who went. I suppose that what I'm asking for in requesting financial help is then, in a sense, a bit traditional. Pilgrims often didn't take much with them and relied on the help of others on their way. And while it may not require quite as much faith to do so in advance via GoFundMe, it's more practical when planning to share the trip in the way that I'm considering. Finally, I am asking for help on the artistic and personal side of this project. If I receive an abundance of funding, I'll be donating larger amounts to smaller religious sites that I'm visiting for their upkeep, and I'll also be providing for a couple of extra things for the artistic side of the trip. So, isn't this pilgrimage supposed to be really uncomfortable? Well, nobody's dared me to any self-flagellation, and I don't think the spiritual effects would count if I did it on a dare anyway. But I am building in several elements into the trip that will make it less comfortable. It's a long distance that's compressed in time and includes over 30 hours of driving. In taking my dog with me, I will be saving some money, but I'll also need to care for his needs, and I plan to do so richly, even though my time is short. In short, he doesn't need to suffer with me. I'm traveling the prairies at one of the historically coldest times of the year, and the shrines and some planned walks are outdoors and will happen at the prescribed time regardless of temperature or weather conditions, as long as I'm able to travel safely. Foolish driving is really not on the menu. I don't think God recommends it. He's probably tired of sending his angels for people driving in blizzards. I'm not a morning person, and several days in this trip will require 6 a.m. leaving times just to keep me on schedule. My knees aren't in great shape, and I will, when possible, be kneeling at some of these locations, potentially for an extended period of time. I'll be fasting for some time on Ash Wednesday and fasting from meat on Friday the 3rd. Well, I'll be March 3rd during Lent. If I get sick, I will try to still finish the trip off schedule, which will throw off some of my life when I get back, and all in all, not everything about this trip will be comfortable. I'll often be tired. Additionally, I'm going to do everything I can to stay holy. Basically, I know my own faults and failures, pride and impatience, for example, and I will be striving to be extremely careful about them during the course of this trip. So, I am an artist, and this is an art project in some ways. I have a fine arts degree from the U of S, a double major in sculpture and photography. I'll be using my artistic skills in providing the videography, photography, and potentially writing or poetry to the beneficiaries of this trip, yourselves and anyone else who's interested. My final project in school was a public show where I created a sculptural exhibit containing a written record of many of my secrets on 6 different topics, from spirituality to sex. I'm planning to be just as transparent in this project and to speak from my personal journeys on all kinds of subjects. As an artist, I'm hoping to share personally, candidly, and without a ton of editing. Can I tell my story simply? Can I be honest about motivations, secrets, my spiritual and inner life? Can I invite people into a spiritual place with me, even if they live halfway across the world? Wouldn't it be wonderful if there was drone footage of the inside of that prairie cathedral I've heard so much about? Would the church even allow it? What about at the other pilgrimage sites? What about all the other beautiful places I'm going to be in this gorgeous journey through Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba? Okay, I get really excited about my art, but those are the things that I'm excited to share with other people, and I'm hoping that you'll be excited to share them with me as well. What I'm going on is a sacred journey. I'm undertaking a sacred pilgrimage, which has other aspects, intellectual, social, artistic, and some general personal goals. But a sacred journey is a physical journey with a spiritual goal. And so, along with the sweet fellowship of family and friends, that is the main purpose of my trip. As an artist, and in considering that this is a personal art project in keeping with the gifts God has given me, I plan to focus on some of the art and architecture throughout this trip, through Saskatchewan, my birth province, as well as creating some of my own, through videography, photography, and potentially writing or poetry. So it should be an intensely art-focused trip. As well, I will be choosing to take this time before Lent to reflect, and in preparing my materials for delivery during the Lenten season, hopefully I'll be helping other Christians to reflect on their journey during Lent. In the prairies, the season in which I'm traveling is more dangerous and less interesting than if I were to undertake the trip in summertime. This suits both the Lenten journey, which is supposed to be a journey through the desert to meditate on our sins, and a pilgrimage. It will be, in some part at least, through unfamiliar territory. I'll be visiting many sites I've never been to before. My trip will end during the first few days of Lent, and I'll be posting materials within the month of March 2017, which is during Lent for both the Julian and Gregorian calendar for Catholics and Orthodox. So it can be part of your Lenten journey as well, if you'd like it to be. How am I asking for help? Well, first of all, I'll be asking Our Lady. Mary is a big part of my life. If you're not a Catholic, but you have an interest in the spiritual side of my trip, you should know that Mary takes a very important role in the Catholic faith, that of pointing towards a saintly life and, more importantly, towards her son Jesus. Many of the sites I'm visiting are dedicated to Mary, and I'll be asking for her wisdom and guidance as I travel. I'll be going to a shrine dedicated to remembering her appearance and intercession at Lourdes that was planned by a priest with a personal devotion to Mary. The cathedral I'm going to is dedicated to Our Lady of the Assumption. Queen's House Retreat Center in Saskatoon is dedicated to Mary, and additionally, St. Kateri's Grotto was built to celebrate the Marian year in 1987. She herself was devoted to Mary and became a consecrated virgin. I'm not sure what church I will attend for the Ash Wednesday service, but I can tell you that Mary will be there too. How can I allow anyone to share in this trip? Well, traditional pilgrimages were often made in groups, and in a sense, I'm taking all of you with me. To that end, you're welcome to make any requests of me. Do you want your donation to go towards a dog treat, or want a photo of a happy dog receiving that treat? Sure, not a problem. Do you want to send a medal, a crucifix, rosary, cloth, or other token to take with me to holy sites? I'll give you the information so you can mail it to me. Do you have a prayer you want me to offer up for yourself or a loved one? I'll create a place where I can accept those requests. I'm just open to carrying with me, and to be clear, you don't have to donate to the project to ask to be included in this way. I will certainly be praying for the healing of others in this project. Both Mary, especially at Lourdes, and St. Kateri are known for healing miracles. So if you're interested in asking for their intercession, even if you're not Catholic, even if you don't even believe in God, but you're interested in participating in this way, I'm happy to carry you with me in that way, and you can send me anything you like. If you'd like to help out financially and want to know about where the money will go, I can tell you a little bit more about that. GoFundMe takes 8% of all donations in exchange for offering their platform to help you succeed and a safe transaction with the WePay processing fees. It would be much more complex to self-manage it through PayPal or another site. The remaining 92% of your donation will go towards the trip in some way. There are a few necessary and dream items on my list for this trip that I could use some help with. You can donate any amount from $1 and up with no designation, and your donation will go towards gas, food, and other basics. If I'm well funded beyond basic needs, I can acquire a photo or video drone for some beautiful aerial art videos with a spiritual side. For example, there might be an aerial video scene of a forest with a reading of a prayer or scripture that I can post on YouTube for public use. Additional funds not specified will go towards upkeep of the holy sites I'm visiting, which will be greatly appreciated, and you'll be visiting them vicariously through me. If you'd like to participate in a much bigger way, you can donate a particular amount towards a sponsorship that will help me with the artistic side of the project. There's one for a pet lover, too. So there's some overlap between these things and the main funding, but I'm trying to keep things flexible. I'm planning this about a month in advance, and things are still quite a bit up in the air. There's a sponsorship for Murphy, one for videography, actually quite a few on the videography side, from helping me with Final Cut Pro, getting some video training since I'm normally a photographer and I haven't done a lot of video work yet. I've done some video editing, but I would like to get really amazing at it. I'm looking for the drone for videography, like I said. What that basically means is I'm flying something around with a camera so that you can see some really amazing aerial shots. Also, I really need a new computer, and there's a new camera I'm going to have my eyes on. So if you're excited by this project and you really want to participate and help me to make it a much better experience for everybody, please give me a call and let me know which of these things you might be interested in helping with. All designated sponsors who are participating in this way will get a 30-minute phone call during a driving time on the trip, or at another time if that's inconvenient for you, and a signed print of your favorite photograph, or if you prefer, I can research a saint or historical pilgrimage or another area of interest, and I'll create a video about it for you and everyone following, possibly while I'm on the trip or potentially afterwards as well. If you'd like to help with non-financial goods or services, there's a couple of great things you can do. First of all, you can pray for me. I believe in the power of prayer. Pray for me and for the donors that are taking this trip vicariously, for those who've sent requests and tokens, if anyone decides to do that, for those who have requests for healing. If you're one of the people I'm visiting, or if you know someone on the path of the trip, you could also help by providing the basics, food and shelter for me, a place for me and my dog to stay. There are a couple of trip gaps that I'm unsure about so far, where Murphy and might not get along well with some evil cats that might be in the house. So we'll see what happens from the perspective of those who are hosting me. I want to make it as easy on them as possible and not be too much of a burden. If you have some equipment that might be of use that you're willing to donate or allow me to borrow even temporarily for the trip, that would be amazing. Please get in touch with me. If you have a good ear, good English typing skills, and a little bit of time, or if you're actually a transcriptionist, I'm hoping to have some of these videos transcribed so I can close caption them and make them available in blog form. If you can help even just with 10 or 15 minutes of video, please let me know. It would be a great help. If you're a videographer that has an old DVD copy of Final Cut for Mac you could donate, I'd be happy to use it in the project. I have a 2009 MacBook Pro right now. It would be great to use it with a little bit older software and make sure it'll work great. That's all I have to say to everyone about this trip so far. It's about a month away as I'm speaking to you now, and I'm so excited to be going on a trip that is so intensely personal, so intensely spiritual, and it's going to be a fun time with me and my dog. I hope that you are excited as well about the potential to participate, even if you can't participate by giving any financial donations. I am so excited to have you with me on this trip. Please send me any messages of encouragement that you like, or let me know that you're planning to come vicariously on the trip with me. I'm just so excited to share this trip with you. Thank you from me and Murphy, and I'll see you on the flip side.